We are actually fireside, and we're gonna chat. So,
All right.
This is legit.
We've had a heck of a day on the farm.
Man, yeah, it's been awesome.
And we started our day with a pig hunt that was very intense. All right. And actually, before we get into that, the tour you gave us today I thought was so excellent.
Yeah.
Showing us everything that's going on in the farm. The big theme for me there was you guys are actually aligning yourselves with the way nature works, rather than trying to work against nature or conquer nature.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How's it going, man? I'm Boar. Robert, nice to meet you, bro.
You're ready to go, man. We're excited. All right. What do you think, man? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go get them.
Boar hunting, I guess, is what we call this.
With dogs.
With dogs, which was super cool. Again, these guys apparently been boar hunting their whole life, right?
Oh yeah,
These
it's part of the culture. Absolutely.
People might think, oh, you went out with guns and shot pigs.
Right.
That's not at all what we did, actually.
No. And this is not something many people know about. Hang on. Let me get on him. And as soon as it grabs it by the ears, we dive on it. We tackle this boar hog with big, huge, razor sharp tusks. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Look. Look at him.
You and the dogs are a team, basically. And so, yeah, you get the hog, everyone's pinning him down. It's kind of like controlled chaos. But then you get him tied up, and then you drag him out. Basically, literally drag the hog out, put him in the truck, and take him back to the pen.
Yeah. So yeah, we did that, right? And
I mean,
you did it.
It was intense.
He's sharpening, getting ready for somebody.
There's something about our addiction to the automobile and the phone and all of these other things that you don't even realize it. Like you don't understand how glued you are to these things. And so by the physical act of putting your car away and getting into the farm cart, it's almost like it enables you to mentally and emotionally and even spiritually begin to separate from the natural world and begin your journey into this new experience.
I've been a farmer all my life. I started when I was 5 years old in my grandmother's garden. I've owned the farm for 19 years. I purchased it in 2005. Doug and we got together and just said, hey, I'd like you to see if we can make the vision of the farm where people can grow their own food, grow their own animals, have their own eggs, and have a wonderful time.
One of the things Jeff said to me so many times earlier was that Bitcoin lets him live out his dreams.
My dream, and hopefully a lot of people's dreams come true, in building this farm community.
As I dug into that a little bit with him, he's basically saying, I want to run a profitable business here on the farm. It's just something I'm passionate about. I'm going to do it intelligently, prudently, and profitably. And then I can hold savings in Bitcoin.
Right.
I don't need to be a professional investor, right? You can just do it the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Run a profitable business and have savings.
It's not just about becoming a World Heritage Site, it's also about uplifting the local communities as well, economically.
Okefenokee is a great example of what's possible when you have a healthy ecosystem. It's entrepreneurship around a healthy natural asset.
One of the things that really struck me, it was very surprising in a good way, was just how aesthetically pleasing things were visually. Like that, you mentioned the standing gardens and how organized the agriculture was.
Our kind of focus and commitment is to grow the freshest vegetables that you can grow. And by the way, when you grow things in a regenerative nature, you're creating the most nutrient-dense plant that you can possibly create. I mean, like, you can't buy it. You can't grow it anywhere else.
Also, the team that you had there really seemed to be this sense of pride and ownership. The woman toured us around the standing garden. She really knew everything about every plant, was describing how they rotate them and change them.
That was Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki, I've been bragging about y'all, so give it to us straight. Tell us the good stuff.
Well, this is the standing garden, and of course we do all heirloom vegetables. We start everything from seed. We have the greenhouse. We have a 5,000 square foot greenhouse across the road, and start from seed, bring everything out over here, and we get to plant it all.
And so we've got just an abundance of food and a diversity of food as well. I mean, this is, you've got some greens here, but then that's lettuce. I mean, so basically you could literally come out here every day and forage and live right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how do you decide what to plant and where? Is it just, that's the art?
It is.
Okay.
It is. That's what makes it so fun about it.
And then we also got into touring a little bit more of the regenerative agriculture. I think the pigs were being rotated to root out the certain vines, and then you were going to plant the blackberries behind that.
Yeah.
The animals go in first, the crops go in second, and then after the crops, then the animals go back.
They've concentrated on the radishes first. As you can see, they've pulled up all the tall radishes. They love those. Rooting and tilling the ground and adding nutrients to the ground.
Every single year the land improves, so every single year we are able to grow more crops on that land.
This is a virtuous cycle that we're mimicking here.
I was going to say, it seems very win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically I'm feeding soil microbiology that feeds the plants the natural system. So the plants are already adapted to using what the microbes feed them. The microbes are already adapted to breaking down our waste to turn it into plant food.
All we're now doing is just putting the pieces back in play and letting nature take its course the way that it would normally do.
Yeah, we had that old paradigm of like trying to conquer nature.
Right.
And now we're figuring out that maybe we should have a little more humility.
Yeah.
Just go with the flow.
Chick Mansion. I call it the Rooster Penthouse myself.
As a cabin owner, all you have to do is on the outside go to the egg box, pick it up, reach in there, grab your eggs.
And each chicken lays an egg a day?
Pretty much, except when they're molting.
On the average, I mean, we was getting as much as 10, 11 dozen at one time out of those chickens.
Yeah.
You eat about 9 a day or 12?
I eat a pile of eggs too.
Yeah.
I love them. They're nature's perfect source of protein and fat.
Yeah.
Number one.
We control our own water, our own energy. We will have the ability to have a whole house generator and be able to be off for maybe a year or more.
Wow.
And that's a pretty important thing when people are thinking, what happens if?
My hands are so cold. I know, right?
Before we really started jumping in and messing things up, like things had an order. We knew how to utilize animals. We knew how to perpetuate things in such a way that our soils were healthy. We had lots of small farms. We were growing the things that we needed.
There's an analogy in my mind here with central banking, and that we tried to tame or conquer economic cycles. Nature was a machine that we could control.
Right.
And we thought the economy was a machine that we could control.
Everything we do on nature, we're still inside that nature bubble.
We're still acting within nature. We're just disrupting it now.
We can act upon it, but we're not removed from the results of that action.
Absolutely.
You can live in peace. You can grow your own food, raise your own animals, but that's the biggest. We're the biggest threat between small farmers and people that raise chickens at home and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue we have with fiat money. Essentially, your money can be stolen from you by your own government, mind you. And it impacts the middle and the lower class the most. For me, Bitcoin is the technology that solves the biggest issue facing Americans today, which is inflation.
I've been in a wheelchair for 40 years. car accident, you know, and when I see people coming back from war or soldiers coming back and they're injured, you know, I feel for those families. Bitcoin could allow us to put a cap on the money printing so we can't go spend trillions of dollars on unjust wars. Then it's a more peaceful world.
We don't appreciate the cost of war because we don't see it. Just like we don't appreciate the cost of big agriculture because we don't see it.
That's right.
This farm is designed pre-1932, just to give you an idea. Everything on it you see is pre-1932. That's kind of the actually the golden era, right? Pre-32. Now we are in the Bitcoin era.
It sounds like a tenuous connection perhaps, but when you realize that you remove gold as a standard, you give government the authority to print money as much as they want, that's what allows these centralized institutions to grow unchecked. So you end up with very top-heavy economic systems, and you end up with fiat agriculture, for lack of a better term.
That's exactly where we are.
I'm most excited to see the integration of Bitcoin and the farm at Okefenokee. You know, the whole story of Bitcoin, the spirit behind those who utilize it, we believe is in synchronicity with what we're doing out here at the farm.
And so the best way to really understand that is to just come and see it for yourself. Like, we can sit here on the podcast and talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it doesn't hold a candle to just, I think, immersing yourself in that experience for a few days.